As we approach back to school, doctors say there's more than one way parents can help keep their kids healthy.
Yeah, 5 News reporter Claire Everbach shows us where health experts say families should turn for trusted vaccine information. Good morning, Claire.
Good morning, Tiffany. Joe, health experts say that this year, the biggest concerns when it comes to diseases are upper respiratory illnesses like the flu and whooping cough. There were over 500 cases of whooping cough reported in Arkansas in 2025, the highest in 15 years since they started keeping track of how many cases. Take a look at this map. These are places across the state written by the Department of Health where children can receive vaccinations. Health officials did report the highest number of tracking for whooping cough in 15 years. Doctors say while many children do recover from common illnesses like the flu, parents should know the warning signs that may require immediate medical care, especially fever. But because every child is different, the Department of Health says the best place to start is with a healthcare provider or information from verified sources.
I think that people are very confused right now because there's lots of messages going around about childhood vaccines. And so for any questions that parents have, their best source of information will always be their healthcare provider. A good source of information online that parents can always check is healthychildren.org. That's a reliable website that's written by pediatricians.
Parents can also go to their local Arkansas Department of Health unit like this one in Springdale to ask questions about vaccines or make an appointment for their children. In Springdale, covering news where you live, Claire Everbach, 5 News.
All right, thanks for that, Claire. Well, with school back in session soon, Fayetteville is expanding its free public transit system as early as this weekend.
Yeah, starting Saturday, Razorback Transit will take over service along the College Avenue corridor. Ozark Transit will double service on Route 20 in South Fayetteville. Now, the expansion also includes later evening hours up until 11 o'clock and Saturday service on College Avenue.
Previously, the two fixed routes only had bus service once every hour, and that's really not what we would consider reliable transit service. People can't plan their day around a bus every hour, and so frequency and reliability equals more usability and higher ridership of transit, and so that was where we really wanted to focus.
Well, they'll also add new transit stops and shelters across the city. Again, it's free to the public. The city of Fort Smith now has more time to complete federally required sewer improvements.
City leaders say the 12-year extension allowed by the Department of Justice will help keep costs more manageable as the city continues improvements. Interim City Administrator Jeff Dingman says ratepayers will see small increases on their wastewater bills as the city works to complete the upgrades. He says spreading the cost over several years is more affordable than passing a much larger increase onto ratepayers all at once.
Starting on January the 1st through 2030. And so we have, for a total of, 6 different 3.5% rate increases on the ratepayers for the citizens of Fort Smith as part of our ongoing commitment.
The city now has until June of 2038 to complete the remaining sewer improvement projects.
Well, Monday, Rogers police officer Fred Marsh was laid to rest in his hometown of Risen, Arkansas. Rogers police shared the video on its Facebook page, saying that their hearts remain heavy and they're grateful for the outpouring of support. You'll remember Marsh died while canoeing on Missouri's Elk River with his fiancée and friends. His family said he drowned trying to save someone. And we're also learning more about an Alma man who died after a head-on ATV crash in southeastern Oklahoma. Highway Patrol says it happened July 3rd when 61-year-old Daniel Evans was killed after 2 ATVs collided on County Road, Pittsburgh. Troopers say both drivers were rounding a curve on a gravel road and swerved to avoid each other but crashed head-on. The other driver, 24-year-old Nathaniel Gawley of Muldrow, and 1 passenger were injured. A Bella Vista man died in a crash along Interstate 49. State police say 56-year-old Ronald Langley was driving south on the interstate when his truck hit a portable toilet that had fallen off a truck and into the middle lane. 5 News has reached out to state police to learn if the driver of the truck will be cited.
Seattle police say that they have detained a 15-year-old in connection with the mass shooting that killed 3 people over the weekend. Police now believe that this may have been gang-related. with innocent victims caught in the crossfire. Bradley Blackburn has more.
That's 100K. Shooting. Oh.
More videos are emerging of the terrifying scene at a Seattle food festival.
Anyone have a small child tourniquet size?
Families had gathered near the city's famous Space Needle for the annual Bite of Seattle event when shots rang out just after 6 p.m. Sunday.
There was a rapid fire succession of shooting. It was so rapid it sounded as if you can imagine someone lighting a string of firecrackers.
Among the injured, a 2-year-old boy. 3 people were killed, including one person police say was a shooter. A second alleged shooter, a 15-year-old juvenile, was taken into custody, and court records suggest police are still looking for another individual.
Everyone deserves to feel safe in our city, to be safe in our city.
At this point, we believe this could be gang-related. There were 2 groups firing in the area near the armory during the Bite of Seattle. We believe 2 of the individuals were associates with each other.
After a hearing, a court ordered that the 15-year-old suspect be held in secure detention. Officials say the investigation into the shooting is ongoing. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Today, President Trump meets separately with the leaders of Ukraine and Israel at the White House, with Iran likely to be a big topic. Iran says that there have been no direct talks with the U.S., though mediators say that they've made progress towards getting both nations back to diplomacy. On the economy, 78% said that the president is not focused enough on lowering prices, which have jumped since the conflict began, while 60% say that he's too focused on tariffs. At Michigan's General Motors Proving Grounds on Monday, President Trump said that his tariffs are working.
Outside countries and companies were coming in and just robbing us blind. But now all of that is changing because I placed historic tariffs on foreign producers and manufacturers.
He urged Senate Republicans to push through a package of strict voting measures known as the Save America Act before November's midterms. President Trump says that the Senate should stay through August break.